yourself. Join you very much. I'd like to acknowledge all those who are watching via the live stream on all of Stonebwoy's social media pages. Thank you so much for joining us. Stone, over to you, boss.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. Um, Thank you very much. I'm super honored, if I can say so, and I'm very, very humbled to have thrown out an invitation or have sent out an invitation to the respectable media, and the house is actually filled to capacity that I wasn't probably expecting, with a number of dignitaries, if I can say, a number of persons that I hold up high. So thank you very much for turning up this morning. Once more, everything you said about me is true and more. Um, I go by the name Livingston Eche Satekla, real life, and Stonebwoy as artist. So welcome to Stonebwoy Meets the Press. Yeah. I think that over the time there have been issues are not necessarily negative or positive. There have been a lot of me in the news, and I believe that 2019 especially was one of the biggest years that I've had under my sleeve, and it's been busy all through, and I had really little time to address or go for interviews, from one place to the other, and therefore this is one of the reasons why 2020, as has come to us, my team and I decided to call on the press so that we can have a nice time, a beautiful time, actually dialoguing and asking questions, and me also telling you what my plans are for the rest of 2020. So thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. So we're going to jump straight into it. First point is your album. It's almost 3 years since you released Epistles of Mama, the EOM album. Number 13 on the Billboard charts. Major collaborations that saw you tour Jamaica, parts of the UK, and a number of states in America. So we can only be excited on hearing that there's another album coming.
Absolutely.
So please do give us some more details about this new album, if possible, all the details we need.
Okay. To start with, I'll say this album is another milestone that's going to be dropping from me, because the last album, which was the Epistles of Mama, actually had me do many collaborations. Almost all the two sides had artists that featured both on the reggae side and on the Afrobeat with the dancehall blend. So we had 24 songs and have done a lot with it. The album was released on the 12th of December 2017. So I think we are 2 years in, so the main reason behind this particular album is that I think a lot of things have happened between 2017 and 20, seeing African music actually take different turns and reach different heights on the continent. And as a creative, from noticing this and having been a part of the change as well, there is a need for me to continue to raise the bar and define myself more and more musically. So this album was meant to be a 12-track album, but pushed to 15-track, so that I can actually serve the purpose of it, and not just because it's music. One thing I can say about the album is that it's tailored to suit every region, literally, of the world. We have reggae songs that will target probably Jamaica and the Caribbean. We have dancehall songs that will target within the UK and the Jamaica as well, and even into the urban African society, because most of the music that we enjoy lately is a combination of dancehall and Afrobeat, literally, which is what I represent, you know. We have collaborations that would wow you, and I actually have pushed the bar in such that I think I have actually expressed my creativity, you know, on this album properly. People will find me singing my dialect in a way they had never probably thought that I could understand. Both the tree, the airway, and everything. Which brings me to the fact that this album actually was cooked with the aim of bringing people, uniting the sounds that we've already had, and you know, you guys will find it sometimes. You know, I find it difficult detailing stuff. You know, I only see images, and that's it. Let's go on to the next one, please.
All right, I'm sure you know, you guys will have all the questions you want. For those of you who are close to the projector, we'll be projecting a few things, so please just, yeah, I think that's fine enough. We're gonna have the DJ play one of the songs off the EOM album. I think most original with Sean Paul or any other one, and then we'll be back to speak about the Beam Shop and more. Thank you. Watching live via his Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook, I think. Thank you guys so much for joining us there. And again, thank you to each and every one of you media personalities here to share the next phase of Stonebwoy's story with us. For those of you who follow him on Instagram, you probably noticed the Beam Buy store on Instagram. We've seen the merchandise, there's some on display here. We've seen some on the projector as well. Stone, what can you tell us about your merchandise line?
Thank you very much. You know, over the years I've been kicking the beam to the world, the assignment to the world, literally, you know. And as part of the plans that I have always had, I decided to open up shop, you know, to represent the brand, and as well, you know, with a lot of good things in mind, such as actually having like a landmark, you know, with the whole movement in the place that I grew up, in the place that's shaping me till now, you know. So I know when the questions start flowing in, we can deliberately, you know, we can go deeper into. But the inspiration is literally to leave something significant to the people, because I know a lot of people love the brand, they love Stonebwoy, and may not be able to see me or have me close to them as much as they could grab something that belongs to me, something that comes from me, you know, to keep, you know what I mean, as a form of souvenir, you know, and more.
So this store is located in Ashama?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Right in the heart of Ashama. So
and
once you get over the bridge, it's right opposite the engine filling station right there.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure in the course of the questions and answers, we'll be able to BHIM, buy BIM, and you can see all of the merchandise there and start purchasing. Touring is nothing new to you. You know, you've been all over the world. Going into 2020, we were excited again because you announced first off the North American tour. Could you give us a few details about that?
Yeah, thank you very much. As my album plans to drop anytime soon, you know, I also decided to do a number of runs with it, you know, and then fortunately as well, my team has been planning something beautiful out there in North America. You know, last year had us celebrate the year of return, and now is beyond the return. So I think that the times are here where I do not regard the world far away from me now. You know, neither are we far away from the world. We have to actually push a lot, especially as Ghanaian artists. We have a lot of work to do. So this is a part of the reason why immediately, whilst or after the album drops, we'd have to hit the road to send the message across the world.
Thank you. And going into the UK for a couple of years now, we've all seen Nigerian brothers and sisters sell out, O2 arenas. And the question is always, when will it be Ghana's turn? It's 2020 is that year, starting off with you. You've got three major venues across locked. You've got London, Manchester, and Birmingham.
Absolutely.
Any other details you could tell us before the questions start coming in?
Yeah, it's enough things, sometimes, honestly speaking, I'm super good in front of the audience on the stage time, and these ones, I hardly am able to talk too much about them. But like you said, these are like major things that are going on in our industry, especially for the beginning of the year. Doing these three venues in the UK is actually, like you said, the Nigerians have always sort of like, pushed very hard and have had us, lurking behind. And so we actually are in need of these movements, that are on equal levels or more to push the country's agenda when it comes to entertainment and music. So these are the reasons why, we have work to do this year. Yeah.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start taking your questions. I don't know if there's anything you'd want to address before we start taking their questions. If you'd like to ask a question, just raise your hand. We'll have a microphone passed to you, and you can fire away.
Thank you very much. And also to add up before the questions start coming, once more, I'll say thanks to everybody who made it here. And this is actually an avenue where you can equally ask your questions. Feel free, throw it at me, and my answer would be the best one, I guess. So let's get going.
All right.
Thank you very much. There is definitely a plan, or there are plans, and I think a part of it is the tours and stuff that you guys are seeing here to promote the album, all up until the height of, like you saying, getting a possible nomination at the Grammys. You know what I mean? There is a plan, and the name of the album is definitely gonna be leaked ASAP. One thing I'm very sure about here is that this, if you're close to me and you know what's going on in the camp about this particular album, we have long done the work, but still struggling with just the word with it. I need to make it fun. I need to let you guys know. But we finalized and we're sure of, one name that we have. I can assure you that the album drops on the 5th of March, which is my birthday.
5th March.
And things. But the name will come along, soon. Just, let's make it interesting.
Okay. Any other questions? Just raise your hand. Microphone will come to you.
So my name is Gerard from GB Africa, and then also a PR to Bobo himself. So I just want to ask a little bit of question here. Yes, you'll be touring Europe and then UK. Do you have plans for East Africa? Because according to one or two research I've done, I think they are yearning to see you this year.
Thank you very much. Yes, very well. I think Africa is one place that I haven't been able to like pull up a tour to, like, the way we all travel about, and it's in my plans. I've visited and performed and done some great things across countries on the African continent, but we haven't put out a tour yet, to kick with. And in my plans for 2020, God permits, that is also part of the plans. East Africa has been home for a very long time. People do not actually know some of the collaborations that I have had done over there, and some of the underground works also that have gone on, especially on the continent of Africa itself. So I pray that 2020 gives us life and gives us a logistics that it takes to be able to do this ends.
Okay, so my name is KMJ. I'm with the Multimedia Group. My question.
Really amazing. We give thanks, and then you see, we're learning, we're learning, we're growing, and we're thanking God that we've moved a long time from being boys to men, and so we're faced with real life circumstances, these are not supposed to be problems at all. If you're open-minded, you know that it all plays to be a part. Music itself in Ghana is older than VGMAs. So I think respect has to be accorded. Respect would have to be accorded. Most prior respect would go to music and therefore musicians before even anybody who seeks to look at the works of these musicians and give them a plaque or two. You feel me? Having a good intention to, add value to the artist's career. You know what I mean? This, I suppose, is the intention of every awards scheme. But honestly speaking, I as a creative do not think that the power lies in award schemes in making the music or a musician. Absolutely, it may not, because award schemes and VGMs come in once a year and go. But the artists have to do a million things a year to be able to retain a position where an award can recognize to even work with them. You know what I mean? So on the general for, that is what I have to say. Looking at my debate, mentioning my exit from VGM actually made me smile. I'm smiling about it. I think I understand it to a height where I, as a particular artist, I wouldn't cry over a thing like this, because what it is that I know beyond just my involvement. So I believe that a cross-section of my fans, some will feel like, oh, but from where I stand, I think it's time for me to start explaining to some of these fans to understand the actual process that it is. You know what I mean? So VGMAs I'm not at all, that I'm not a part of. The last time I spoke on radio, answering to that via Uncle George, I was answering to Uncle Rezoma that I think I second him, because the decision has long been taken for the extension or the maintenance of the ban period. I would even wish that it's extended the more, so that it can actually deter the upcoming ones from misbehaving as they have planned it. Because I think that it's good for the up and coming ones to be afraid to know that if you mess about, you can miss a prestigious awards like this for years. You see?
Okay, so my name is Bella from TV Africa. So I would like to know the purpose and inspiration behind opening the shop. And also, coming to VGMA,
Yeah.
if the ban is lifted within a short time,
Yeah.
and you are nominated, would you compete?
Thank you very much. There's a huge business after the ban is lifted. There's trouble. There's trouble between when the ban is lifted and when we accept. I'm not gonna say just I, because I know my other brother and I. This always he charge for that vibe. Wow. So just as usual, I'm always a spokesperson. You guys saw at I'm a spokesperson when it comes to press. Aside that, he can actually speak for himself. I sometimes have to call him to help me speak on my behalf. So some of the videos you see, I inspired the video somehow, because he knows he's kicking it for all of us as Bridging. As for the VGMA, when the ban is lifted, I think that both teams, mine and his, would want to have they say caucus meeting. Yes, we'll caucus it before we see. Oh, Mr. George, sorry. Because I respect that. I respect that VGMA as a prestigious award doesn't take decisions, by a person, although it has a CEO and whatever. Anything the CEO says is actually a combination of all the things that she had to minus, sleep over, and accept to face to come and say. So when the ban is lifted, we'll all both treat each other nicely and sit behind doors and see the way forward and how it's going to affect the Ghanaian masses and the music industry better. Not how it's going to affect VGMA better, financially, whatever, and neither us, but for everybody, because their interests are at stake. So they have to be there have to be a consensus at certain levels for if the ban is lifted or not. But I think 2-3 more years is okay for the punishment for the in future of the mess up of the up and coming ones. Yes. And the next question, sorry, I was answering this one too long. She asked you, and the inspiration behind the beam shop. Thank you very much. I believe that the most successful entrepreneurs, entertainers have to exercise the entrepreneurial shape with the brand that they have created. So I think that is the key point, as to why I have to, because definitely everybody feeds, everybody lives, everybody must actually make progress and do some sort of business in life. So this is one of them. But you see, it's a beautiful thing to have if the inspiration behind such entrepreneurial movements is people-based and people-minded, and it's a thing that goes more into how do you say this word the love that people have for you, like the sentimental attachment and stuff. So this is the reason why I had to put something down so that my people can identify with. It even serves as a tourist end, trust me. When somebody comes out, anybody's looking for Stonebwoy and whatever, you could go around, they show you it was Bob Marley's birthday today or something. These are things that he has left certain marks that you can actually see in person to have a feel of, so that's the plan long term, and many things are going to be coming up anyways, not only the shop and stuff. And mind you, this is something I've never said though, but proceeds from the shop, 1% of the proceeds from the shop are going straight to the Livingston Foundations to continue to help to do these 1 or 2 things that we do to help people. You feel me? Yes. I respect the question a lot. I respect the question a lot. First of all, I take it from the manager bit, is it? And as of now, I think I haven't announced any manager yet. And I believe that Ghanaians are used to the word manager. And therefore, it goes that way. Most people get very familiar with our managers, even than ourselves. And 1,001 businesses do go past us and we don't even know. So it gets to a point where, like, in Ghana, as far as I'm concerned, the manager, that person as a manager tends to have like a very huge responsibility and whatever. When there's success, it goes straight to manager. When there's failure, it goes straight to artist in the face. It's just like, that vibe. But no success has much been accorded to artists, but to teams and manager and all of that. So I respect the role of manager. You see what I'm saying? Blakk Cedi is no more, aka Cedi Mohammed, is no more my manager. As we duly said, due to structural, fixations in my camp, I know a lot of people have said so many things that they've heard and some haven't heard, some moving speculations, some moving with what they want to move with. It's all good, it's life, trust me honestly. Life goes on and that's how life goes, We need to get some shocks to be able to change them. We need to get some shocks to be able to move and put things right. And has he done any work as an agent? No, he hasn't. And the reality is that there were understandings or conversations prior to my announcement, and that was verbally agreed upon until it wasn't formally signed. So Blakk Cedi Mohammed hasn't done any work agent-wise and is definitely not in any capacity, obliged to. Whereas I have to state clear that we don't have any work ties together anymore, like work ties, whether via booking, whether by agency, whatever. There's no work tie between my good brother and I, That's it. And then Wisdom is my PA. Wisdom is actually in real life Wisdom Duty Edwards, who is a cousin of mine from my mom's side, if you want to know extensively, because and he's been my brother. He's played so much. He's been here. He's been with me from day. And so it's I think that people are seeing him now in the fore more, and some are calling him manager, and some are actually pushing the manager title on his head. I think that only stays in the Ghanaian region. What I know now, if I didn't even know before, is that every artist needs a team, and you have management and might not necessarily have a manager, because you either have a business manager, a personal manager, a road manager. So the word manager may not be able to sit well on the head of just a person. But here in Ghana, you call the manager when you want interviews. You call that same person when you want businesses. You call that same person when, all issues have to go through that same person. So it makes it like it's one man thing. It's not a one man thing. As an artist and as one that seeks to grow, there's a team. So you need management. Although if you want to book Stonebwoy, like I've always said, I think between the period and now, people have found their ways out already, and we've been doing a lot of things. What you people might be in, one thing I want to add is that, the roles that in my team, we roll as a team. People play roles to just get the work done. And if I tell you what role I play, have played, still play, and forever will play, as a musician, you might call me a businessman the next minute. I'm not a musician. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Mr. Logic. And the world was happy because it was through this rate that we were all in business. Since you guys united, it has put some of us out of business. And we have never been happy. We are still hoping that it triggers again. So I want to know, were you forced to unite musically? I know it wasn't a personal hit.
Thank you.
Were you forced to unite musically? And do you think it was necessary? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll start it from where you ended. So I understand these issues. I'm here with the people. I'm active on social media. I read the news. I know what's going on. He's not telling one lie. Everything he's saying he's not actually, he might be representing himself, but he's not actually talking just for himself. He's talking for a lot of people. I got that yesterday from somewhere. Like, ever since you guys, the heat, they come again. I enjoy the heat sometimes anyway, so it actually has been, there was no force, I think there was no force to start with, under which we had to succumb to unite, or to show unity, you know what I mean? Shatta and I we have history, for real, from time. I think one that only close people who are privileged get to know about. But in the media light, over a number of years, our feud is real. I think people sometimes say, but more Shada now. Like, to me, Shada say, baby, this is real. Who knows. People know the extent to which it went. And I think that what happened at the VGM is to climax the heights of it, actually took us to the world. It sent us all across. We even got featured in Arabic news writings, in Russian, in TMZs. And I immediately my picture was used for scary movie titles with gun things at one. I think we came out to do the right thing. The right thing most often doesn't make people happy, and I tell you sometimes both of us are even sad that we did that. Because sometimes there are some things he can come and say at me that he wouldn't say now, and even me, some things I can come and say at him that I wouldn't say now. But we are two different people still, and I think that Ghana now has gotten to a level, or we have, by at least even the last deed that happened, gotten the name to certain levels. Now, what are we going to do now that we have the attention? What are we going to continue to do now? Are we going to sell Ghana the right way, capitalize on the attention drawn now to move 100 steps ahead into that time and also equal our rivals or equal people who have long gone past us? Because the beef was actually beneficiary to some people, but ultimately it wasn't any good look for us. It wasn't bringing anything to the ultimately, like, overall, in the end we would still lose. So we would rather probably lose certain things now and still move forward. The biggest beef, dancehall beef, once upon a time, is the Bounty Killer and Bean Yuan, you know. And today you and I know the levels at which they are. They vibe, but it will never be as if they were best friends. You see what I mean? So me and Shatta, as much as you guys see it, we're honestly speaking, we're good bridging now, but we're not best friends. You know, we can't just get up and assume that we've been super cool over, and men are very real when it comes to these things. But him and I will pick a conversation once, mostly pertaining to the industry and what we're supposed to do together in our differences, because this is the time for us to make some difference. You know, you guys are used to the beef, get used to the chicken, and we'll, you know, small time, you know, you guys know how to incite us. Just touch the right buttons.
My name is Nana. I must say congratulations to you, Stonebwoy. You started the year on a very bright note. Your album, 15 track, Why It's Hurting. Because you guys were so great, even the VGMAs, how he stood up for you, even how you treat him. I've interviewed you on a lot of platforms, and you have never disrespected him. Never have you. So you treat him with respect. We sit here as media people to know, why did this beautiful bromance just end all of a sudden without any
All right, thank you very much. I think your question is great, but it moved more into being a personal one, you know, like everybody caught the clue. I know you're a huge friend of all of us, you know what I mean? And I think that you said something, I've never disrespected him and I've treated him nicely. So I think that, which is key that I'll point on upon. I'm a people's person. Every single person around my team, knows me. I'll choose myself last over all of them when I have to. When I have to play defense for these people, I play to the core, you know, and I'm their commander, you get me? As young and little as I am, you know, I'm the governor, you know? Being government, See? I think, and you said I've never disrespected him, so I'll never disrespect him also. If you know, that's why some of the things don't have to be said. Exactly. That's why I managed to, as a CEO, as a thinking person, and somebody who will never disrespect him, will continue to keep it that way, even if it sounds confusing till the end. You know, because not all that glitters is gold. I'm answering from a brotherly point of view, which is a general thing that we all have to know, not from a corporate or work-based point of view. The most relationships that break, that hurts people, are the ones that felt and looked the greatest. But you should know that not all that glitters is gold, and there are so many things that have to go on behind the scenes to maintain such relationships. You know, meanwhile, most often it's supposed to be two-sided. And when it becomes one-sided, it can only last back for a while. You know what I mean? You're a personal person to me, and I'll answer you from a personal point again. Should I go about stealing things? I think that wouldn't be a solution to the problem. We have sat as people, as matured persons, and have arrived at solutions number of times. This is somebody, a brother that he is to me, like you know, like a Sarkodie would be to Angel. We are the squad that came up introducing our friends as our managers and teaching them on the job whilst we did the hustle. Ask Sarkodie, ask Shatawale, ask Stonebwoy. This is real. I'm dealing with you on a personal person. I'm sorry, but I have to. We introduce our friends as that, and I've had to do a lot of work that is unseen, and I'd have to shift the credits to the right place that it belongs to make us look professional, and on and on and on and on. So Blakk Cedi might not be working with me, but I'm sure he's super happy as an owner and CEO of Blakk Entertainment, which produces Kelvin Boy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because in your speech, you did mention that when the ban is not being lifted now, it's going to help to serve as a deterrent to.
Yes, which is what the VGMA board is about, right?
Yes. So will there also be a time?
Okay, that is what Uncle Rex on my
Will there
said,
also
which
be
is
a
true.
day and time where you come up with a good song, the two of you, for us, for other incoming or upcoming artists who also learn?
Yes, yes.
Would there be a time like that?
There have to be a time like that coming, or else our mission wouldn't be accomplished. When Bounty and Beanie Man literally came together after years, they managed to drop some songs that fed the crave of the fans and the masses, and it was a huge one. Shatta and I definitely must, else I do not think that our mission would have been accomplished. But most often wishes are not horses, and you cannot always get what you want at the time that you want them, because these are two individual teams. We are not a group working together. We are individuals though, so timings have to come to play. Especially, let's not make this sound like it's not business. Business background, so many things have to go on to make sure that whatever we're doing, we can drive for a longer period. Why are they even involved? The business part is not because anybody says business means that all they're about is the money. No. What do? We're musicians, commercial musicians. We don't sing for free. Sometimes we might give you a line or two for free, but we have to consider all aspects, to be able to take certain decisions when it comes to recording musical material together, because that then goes on to the royalties and the other things and interest protections and all of that. So it's my wish that all these things will come to book nicely done, and we'll be able to give Ghanaians and the world a beautiful piece of track, an album, a video, however they want it. Style, baby.
Okay, my name is Ronnie Samuel from UTV. Stonebwoy, I know you have a couple of programs to be undertaken within this year, but I'd like to know, what is this actually one thing that you're looking forward to achieve by the end of the year? And also my second question, we've seen this several times, artists signing a fellow artists and later end up in something else. Do you see it right for an artist to sign a fellow artist on a record label?
Thank you very much. It's a good question. But we're still moving, and I know that big things are going to be happening. I have plans for this year. I do not think that what I want to achieve in 2020 I have already done yet, but I have quite some plans that I pray to God to help for me to achieve, to make it remarkable. So I think we can take time, not jump the gun. Maybe when December 2020 hits, I can be able to stand proud and be bold and say this was something that I had planned that I was able to do at the most. Meanwhile, on the signing part, it's a beautiful thing to actually help people, because it's a popular saying that you rise by helping others. Most often, if you do not care wise how most often that doesn't play in every situation, but it's good to always continue to lend help, to people. But coming to signing artists in Ghana, like you said, it always turns out to be something else. I think there's that because there are so many things we do not check, and so many things we do not understand before even jumping into. And there's so many things we do not consider either, because all we just want to do is that once upon a time we helped somebody and it feels good if you're somebody that loves to help. But I think it's not what a number of us have tried, and I say failed, because of so many reasons and more. Now it's time that we have to not rush, and this would be an advice to anybody who feels that they are on top of the ladder and might want to help somebody or grow somebody or sign another artist. I think that is best we take time to even fix things, in our teams, and fix structures that would help that to work. And I would say that I admire Links Entertainment to an extent, because they seem to always have, that record of working with artists and and doing it right to an extent. But may I chip this in? Even them don't have it easy, and there's always an issue about exit and the rest. You know what I mean? So I would blame it on Ghanaians not actually understanding, Ghanaian artists like myself not actually fixing things before they bring people on musically. But personally, there's always attitudes, and I think people feel different ways and all. But the happiness it brings to me is that in Ghana, one thing we do is we observe everything, we know everything, but we keep quiet and stare like we do not. Pertaining to the issues surrounding mine, I don't want to go too far and be too diplomatic about it, but we all see clear, we all are all seeing things. I get tweets that tend to ridicule me and insult me. I get, I've gotten messages that I haven't even displayed or shown to nobody, and by the time you check the thing, it's like, if I give that attention now, I'm just going to drop down to a certain level where I think Ghanaians will not be happy about, just because, you have to somewhat want to say it, or no, we are bigger than a lot of things and we have to see ourselves very big and move on. But let us not also stay blind to the clear picture, and do the needful. Yeah, and and this particular person is somebody who is being produced, managed, whatever, by my former manager. Let's keep some things on the clean. You get songs that Manifest, my brother, feature, and then Miss Throwing Shades and all. I am the captain of one of the biggest beefs in this country, so these ones are not close.
My name is Samuel and I'm with the multimedia group. Now, before you severed ties with Blakk Cedi and Kelvin Boy, there was a lady on your record label that's Ovi.
Yeah.
I want to know, is she still signed on your record label as an artiste? And if not, what has happened to her?
Thank you very much. On the situation with Ovi, it was also absolutely one of the efforts to help. If you're around me, you're close to me, you know my intent and my heart too. But unfortunately, I'm not the same one that oversaw, things until my attention was properly drawn to. And that is the reason why I have to lay off and restructure ultimately and put things apart. So guess what? Well, I think when I did the first interview and made mention of it, I said when we fix things internally, we would come out to speak about that as well. But I thought at that point it was not really necessary, and so now that I have the opportunity and you guys are here, I think I'll drop it down in the interest of it's in the best interest, that the company actually severe ties with her and release her literally. So she's long been released and is on her own and stuff, and still gets the support from the team and myself anytime, any day, just like it was from the beginning. The way I met Ovi sent me a tweet a long time ago, like one of the ways I do. Saw the tweet and I retweeted it, and on and on and on it went. Big ups to the fan base, Beam Nation, Beam Government. You guys are super amazing. Anything I touch, they endorse. So within a twinkle of an eye, Ovi was, already getting the support of, she's not the first person that would get that opportunity, and she wouldn't be the last either. Thanks to the Beam Nation fan base. So she got into the MTN project thing, MTN whatever, and you guys saw how well she did by literally getting the support of my fan base and performing some of my songs. And I had my support behind her, so luckily enough she emerged the winner. And I have a very, very good friend, businesswoman, of a friend of mine who's a woman, who actually brought her to my house and said, look, you're forcefully going to do this if you like it or not. Right in front of the girl when I haven't met her in person. I'm like, listen, there's Wahala. But, you know what I mean? Because from all that time, I was still working on the internal things that were happening so that it doesn't come to add up. And she's my witness, but I wished and hoped that will also run smooth. But, you can't put pain on pain or trouble on trouble. So we try to an extent. But I believe that even having failed at, that, in quote, the levels that it has brought these kids, is well enough for them to stand upon, because many people just run off the takeoff by a tweet, by an opportunity. So how much more taking you along with us, opening doors that some people on their own haven't even opened yet. The least you can do is not to try to fight this, because that's how you lose it all. So you just have to maintain upon the little help that you got and keep running. So Ovi is no more with us, is not with us, work-wise. But she's okay, she's good. She came to my house the last time, we had a nice chat. Like, it's all positive from my end, super positive. And sometimes I think that the media can get a lot more when some other people do the answering. So I bet that you put them on the line as well, so you can compare the facts and ask some more questions. Yeah.
Stone, Beam.
Big up.
Alright, this is I to the beat, representing EIB. You understand? Before Rose, I'm the real deal again.
Absolutely.
The only one part.
Fire, man.
That's right. So I'd like to say congratulations, my brother.
Thank you, boss.
I think you've come very far, and I appreciate you a lot. I have worked with you and your team
Sure.
on several projects, from S concert,
Sure.
all went on different stages.
Sure.
And I think that you are among one of the few artists who has been able to carry yourself well in terms of timing, self-branding, how you communicate. And I must say that it's not difficult working with you.
Thank you.
Because when we give you time and you tell Beam or Stone is 6, the man is there 4. He's waiting for you. You don't go through hassles. We've worked with other artists and it becomes hell. You know what I'm saying? So, going forward, I would like to tell you that keep your spirit down. They call the name Stonebwoy from Ghana or X from Ghana, and like you see the fans sometimes turning their back. They come to Ghana and then we held them. But I want to also blame part of our radio presenters and our media people. As media people, I think we seem to hail foreigners or outsiders so much than giving that attention to our own people. Do you feel hurt?
Thank you very much, boss. I think I'll describe it more than hurt. I'll describe it more than hurt, that type of situation, how it looks like. But my hurt is actually coming from, I think, our part. Exactly, because we can only solve and fix ourselves to be able to be happier compared to any other receiving end. So I would take it from the Nigerian part. I don't have a problem with. I honestly cannot blame anybody out there in Nigeria for whatever they do to us. Like how it's being seen and it's being speculated. Because one, you can't force anybody to, accept what they do not know or whatever. But to be very, very, very honest, the last 2-3 months I've seen me going into Nigeria to do some shows back to back, like Sound City MVP, which is one of the biggest. I was among the top 2-3 to close the show. Afrima as well, top 3 to close the show, hosted in Nigeria. On the continent of Africa, I think I should be honest to say that I'm one of the known Ghanaian on the continent of Africa and beyond. And Nigeria loves me. So I will never actually paint them black in this situation, because I'll take time to dial it down so we all get the picture clearly. When I step at Nigeria, Motala, from one, you hear Stonebwoy August from immigration to wherever I go. But I think that is not it all. On stage as I've played, if I think that they're rubbish to me as one of the boys on the continent, I would be like a stage opener. The treatment and hospitality would be rough. But honestly speaking, I'm one of the persons who don't like to hide things that have to be told to fix a problem, if the problem hasn't been fixed yet already. Nigeria gives me my respect. Whatever it be on my technical rider or my performance rider, it's obeyed, and I go in and do that as a performer. Whatever business that there be, it was also done. But when it comes to the fan-based bit, I think that their industry has a certain regulation that doesn't allow inflow like that. So on one-on-one basis, you may be preview or privileged or open to enjoying other people's music from across Africa and the world. But everybody literally gets the same treatment. I've seen other top artists from outside of Africa get the same treatment. And one of the things I can say now, not having critically thought about, is that I think there's a lot more to do in penetrating somebody else's territory. But they also have every right, their legal rights to protect their airspace. So if we are not protecting ours and promoting ours and pushing, sending ours across, it's a competitive world though, boss, on every level. Both business, China is going here, America is doing that, Iran and all those ones. The same way I think in entertainment too. We also have to push out to go. But I think that we've left our guard too open, and that is what is causing the pain. That you don't get the same love is not reciprocated, but it doesn't mean that they don't know you. They know you, and that's the level to the most they can actually receive you. And if this is us being received at that level, then you can imagine somebody who has to now struggle through. But I'm not saying that we have to cease. Any Nigerian can get up any day and have something done in Ghana easily. True or false? Even an event they can have like VGMA, their owners. So you see now, no, sometimes we just have to maybe join them.
We have to.
Then we are all the same.
Right? We have to focus.
So we have to push up. And these are some of the fights that we will face. What I'm facing is my portion of the fight. Because I could easily say, Nigeria, BM, but I'm in the faith, I'm still knocking, I'm still kicking. I think that's the part that I can play, literally, even as because the other route is to say, I'm not going to go there no more.
Because in SA, I was in South Africa recently, saying, you tune into radio,
Yes.
YFM,
Yes.
they were playing local songs,
Good.
strictly South Africa
Good.
SA songs. I couldn't, all my 1 week I spent there, I couldn't even get one foreign song.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are we doing?
So
Are
I
we
think
killing
that,
our people?
I think that the pain, we shouldn't blame the pain on nobody. We should also work hard and, get the results that we want to. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief. Taking it from the first one, it's well obvious that after the brouhaha, whatever that happened, we live in a country where we have no really works, but sometimes you have to, work next. So after that stage, I think it went on the obvious. So the least I can say about that, the better for me. So I'll just introduce my legal guy here, Selani, and the consultant right there, Mr. Jonathan Amable, and then Selani Wanya as well. So from the legal team and the consultant department. They will handle that later, whatever they be. And then on the boss issue as well, yes, that's more business as well. So the detail of it I'll leave to Mr. John Amable. But honestly speaking, I may not, because we're not allowed like that to just spew out every detail that there was. It started by being a brand ambassador to the Boss Energy vibe, and then we also had secondary discussions, behind closed doors. And just for the fan base and for the progress made, when the opportunity brought itself and it was right after the secondary discussions on a possibility as such, because in Ghana you find out that everybody just does the brand ambassador business, and I think I do not know of or have heard of in the public that this is a different move that I think would inspire a lot of people to also think beyond just representing for the brand and actually owning a piece of the cake somehow if you can, So that is what we did now and have pushed it to a notch where it belongs here more than I'm just a brand ambassador too. So when they speak, they might put some more flesh around it too. On their side, this is the informal side sort of, as if they speak.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a few more questions, about 3 or 4 more. They've already been selected. Anybody
that's Ghana for so I see. Up to this extent, support in Ghana had the ideas and a better would be say almost support to Amanabu. Support in Amanonin, and so I know them But near Misuminim, I am no credit say. Ghana has support, you know, supporter, Sebi will be more fans. And then more talk. A day, Ubisa Shata Obekacho, Ubisa Sack, Yen in R2Bs, you know, I bear them Yapuno. A day, Utra Kwan Crow Accra, and as I went to Accra as an artist, I want to meet you at least. But at least cry now, the other went to my Ubufu Accra, and I said, Bibi Hokrano, then 5 CDs. It's 5 CD a day, times 7, times the all. I said, so budget, I said, this see Homa, the least for a year, no crown, more for the fans. But I'm saying, the only who on call, and I said, the Nyayanke, the better for free. Musicians, any actors, if you want to cry, any entertainers, if you want more or so, no, quite to say, I need more. Sana, and Tiasiano, Etie. More your local masses now the majority no sana I say no sana me feel say akoye nti the Ghana for be tonight is yebe say edayi na yi mo bi mo bi chere for us to be able to get on those platforms. They say you know internet is playing a very big role, but it's not their fault. Internet is also expensive in Ghana. What I say, meanwhile Tanzania, they are Tanzania, Kenya, East Africa, they are most active when it comes to internet and online activities that have to do to support, because to promote their artists, because aside their number, no. You know, means also with all these things that I'm open to, I understand some things to an extent, about how we're not gaining the right kind of support to be able to get onto the heights. And also I'm saying mindset, so no misunderstanding need your work. Obi only who trying to say the tear crown or the now can OT. But I also found where they am very now for a very, very long time. It says in Tia can crack a crown was a sound mindset. Until you say Ghana for Casano, yeah, or the supporting. But you say they are foreign artists being your Kuma, and I ain't trained or whatever, mama. From whichever school to whichever school. We have a class of people in Ghana who actually know what's up and play big roles, in making sure that other people grow. But what they all know, the Ghana young kunum and also best of the Ghana media and also Ghana for and also a Cosmo Kuma. So as Ghanaians, we mean just the listeners. Ghanaians are more to need to do certain things that I mean financial strength and knowledge and everything and to help you hear someone now to be able to get us onto that level. But me now I know it's not because sometimes we'll be say and I say when you now buy your artists here just say you are now when the support is coming and all these things are coming it's you, it's for you when I will feel it. Me who say more who say because a country can only drive this to tourism and its agendas and its whatever it wants and how it wants to look through its creative art and culture. And who are those that come to play? The musicians, the actors, the Mom wouldn't say we me yama. Because the DJ because we me born in 2 days or it's our own feeling. But or the Jay-Z bashing when you are victims, even to extent where young Casano Crano sometimes as a people, foreign lie, you know what I mean? Like, it's now their mindset, sometimes they can be their strength. So now you say, Yama when you know, can't be a young Casasi, and when you to me, more whom I do. Levels are Nigeria for you say okay Afrobeat I have to give credit to where it's due. Could be behind the world and that's okay Afrobeat where their mind go it's Nigeria and Oman now keke and run a hammer and then you do come on or channel say but when Two-Face and then used to come shoot videos here then Ghanaians were and all of a sudden they get spread off and I'm saying yes that is the thing. They have had to identify the problem and agree and understand to fix it. That's why today they are leading, which is right. So if we also want to be in the lead, there are so many things that we have to emulate. Very much. Thank you so much for this question. This came up like a few days ago on social media, and I had to share my view. I think Lydia Faustin wrote something very intelligent. You know, from the point that she stands, it makes sense. And so I added some, and I saw it running all over the place. Like everything plays a part. Everything plays a role. Everything. Language itself as you speak, you know, the melody of the music, and the genre of music itself, and even to an extent, who is the artist and where does he come from? You know, all these things play roles. And I think that in our time now, we are not going to be the last people here, and we will never be the first. And there have been people, therefore the things that they've done to grow a certain industry have had influence and have had control on what is happening today. The reality being that I was growing up listening to highlife music and I loved it a lot. I can actually sing some highlife that people would feel see. But before I chose the genre of music to do once upon a time, when I thought, what if I take this seriously? I thought about my parents, and I thought about what they would accept or could accept. You know, the hip life was around them time there, when we started miming these things in primary school. Interestingly, what I told myself was to do something that my mother would not be angry about if it became big. Just thinking at one point in time, or my father as well. So I couldn't go in front of him and start to sing, well, no, so if maybe, you know, I'm just kidding, like, say anything that would be like that. Because around that time, you're either crazy. It's just like, it's not what long ago when Ghanaian parents would allow their kids to play football. It was not too long ago, you know, and same with the music. So probably them times, not too long ago, I'm not too old, you know, that was even around. So I chose reggae came to mind because my father would play some Bob Marley and play some Peter Tosh and stuff, and that's so subconsciously I just felt like that is what he can relate to. So I loved it and I learned it, and that's how come one of my and especially for the value and the message it brought or it spoke about it, you know, all these added up to my influence of doing music now with patois, blending it with tree and ewe and stuff. Some people say, hey, boy, no, too much. I told you I'm in your canon. Good. Some people too say, I saw you on the day, now the trees are. Hey, patois, no, they already asked if they make out. So, me identifying myself, I've identified myself with a certain key things when it comes to language, but that though does not determine the overall success. I can't even say what percent that fits into, you know. And if you understood whatever I sing, it will be much more easier for you to even join in and understand what I'm saying, because the melodies themselves and the feeling it brings also explains different things to you. But now the overall success lies not with the language. This is where every other thing have to come to play to make a break, to break like a big artist, which is what the Angelique Kiddos have done. Else, their language barrier would have been the one that would even stop them the most. If the mechanism is most powerful, you can even sing Zamanama. It will cross. But if the mechanism is not powerful and you're singing in the most commercial language on earth, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to cross. So, King, I think the language forms a part of it, but doesn't guarantee to make it blow, because music itself is a universal language. Yeah. And thank you very much. A few weeks ago, I was arguing, so to feel good as a Ghanaian, about who invented fiber optics, that is Wi-Fi and stuff that we use. And when I said it was a Ghanaian, someone said, what? Ghanaian idiot on the line. I said, no, true. Then we just went on Google, put it there, and we saw Dr. Thomas Mensah. Thank you very much, Daddy, for coming. I'm so surprised and I'm elated. Thank you.
Thank you, Stonebwoy. First, I want to kind of commend you and congratulate you for what you've done.
Thank you very much.
In the whole worship movement. And also, what you just said language wasn't critical. It's because you know Fela Kuti.
Yeah.
Fela Kuti sang in his language.
Yes.
And so he was all of it. So, you know, continue to do what you do.
Thank you very much, Daddy.
We are here to support you.
I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have influence on the youth
Thank you.
in Ghana. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here at the press conference.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really happy. I was surprised when I was told. I was just talking about you, like you're one of the people I brag with, at least, so we can keep pushing and celebrating our own, from the intelligence point to Ghanaians are doing so much, but we all know this is one of the things we hardly do. We hardly celebrate each other. We hardly, and we often break down people, Jano, it's all part of the problem. But gradually,